everyone, I hope you're well. Before I get into it, I just want to say quickly, I am sorry for any drama that you see on my page. As some of you are aware, I have been getting bullied quite a lot on this platform, and I have kept quiet about it for months and months and months, and there is only so much one person can take. So I just want you to know that I don't enjoy drama, but I'm not going to sit back and take it anymore. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I just apologize for any that is being said or anything that is going to be said. Yeah, because I will speak up if I need to from now on. Anyway, let's get into it. Wasting a full minute there. So Daisy from True Crime and Faith found an article, and it was displaying some of these messages from the family member. So I spoke with them, and they agreed that I should make a video showing the actual messages. I've blacked out all of the people's names because this was said in a private group, so I do not want to put people's names on blast that are saying this in private. I have sent all of the unedited, unredacted copies to Squirrels on Fire. So this is the family member, this is the post that they made, and I will also in the next screenshot show you that the admin had verified that this was a family member behind the scenes. So it says, "Hello sleuths. I know some people think it's suspicious to post anonymously, but I'm related to the family and it would hurt them to know I have suspicions they do not. I've followed the case closely and seen nothing but red flags, especially after the sketchy teen interviews and the AWP video. Many of you know that's not the same for the community and family members, which makes any discussion very difficult. I have a question though. I've seen many people ask for proof that this is foul play, but I've seen very little proving it's an accident. Being young and drunk and then ended up in the reservoir isn't proof, it's circumstantial. Can anyone offer more substantial evidence that shows it was accidental? Thanks, everyone." And this family member posted this on the 8th of September. This is the admin saying, "Admin following, and I can confirm this person knows the family." So then there was some confusion saying, "Thank you for verifying," knows them or is related. She said she is related, and then the admin comes back and says, "Yes, relative." From here on out, anything that you see that says group member with the little blue symbol next to it, that is the family member speaking. The rest is commenters within the group. So the commenter says, "I do not think accident. However, if it were my family, an accident would be much easier to take. I'm sure the family is going through a lot and have a lot of mixed emotions." Family member replies, "Very, very true. It's why it's so difficult to even speak about others' ideas. They almost just want the entire case to be over, and unfortunately, only one of two agencies are still working on the case. I just want justice, and I'm heartbroken the truth may never come out. Thank you for the reply. It's so confusing right now." Group member: "Do both sides of the family think it was an accident?" Family member replies, "Yes, but I admit there's a little too much trust in law enforcement, even with so little information. After Check-It TV's findings, I spoke to a family member and they were pretty pissed off. Hopefully this spurs some action and people will start asking questions again. Group member: "I don't think there's any proof it's accidental, honestly, and even if Tox comes back and she had drugs and alcohol in her system, how will that prove she's the one who drove herself into the water? I have no idea how law enforcement is going to unravel, dissect, and assess all of this. I don't honestly see how it can be proven one way or the other, because even if she has water in her lungs..." Sorry, I just like to keep the whole thing so you can see it all and nothing's edited out. Because even if she has water in her lungs, it could still be foul play, because it could mean she was unconscious but presumed to be passed and then disposed of in the water while still alive. Doesn't necessarily mean she drove in breathing and then couldn't get out. The family, I'm sure, knows more than we do, even if only a little bit. I know they don't tell everything because I have lost a family member too, but they do tell some things. I just don't get how family could not suspect foul play. And then another group member says, I saw somewhere they can still get prints off of everything. The family member then replies saying, I agree. From what I was told, which may not be the full story, some information has been released, but not all. I do believe she was asleep in the hatchback, but it's definitely not something I can share with anyone yet. A group member says, nothing leads to accident. She was in the back and windows were down when a car went in the water. I think she was smart enough and able to get out if she accidentally drove into the water. Also, the sighting of her car on Saturday morning was someone questioning the tow truck driver on how to properly secure a seatbelt to a belt. I'm very, very sorry for the loss of your family member. Thank you so much for being brave and making this post. Please know that all of us send our love and we are fighting for justice for your beautiful, sweet and talented Kylie. I wish I could give you the biggest hug right now. This makes all the late nights and digging so worth it. I hope everything we have found helps the case. The family member says, thank you for your kind words. I'm new to the true crime sphere. What a way to start. It helps to know there are others out there still digging for clues and reading between the lines. I'm still so confused about tow truck driver. I still think it was someone that looked like Kylie and she was placed somewhere else or in the back. I wish we could see the footage or at least the AWP video interview. Hopefully we'll see one of those soon. And then the group member comes back and says, I hope this PI the family hired isn't causing too much trouble. He is making rumours swirl on Twitter as of right now that CHP is wrapping up the case. I really hope that's not the case and he's just running his mouth with info he knows nothing about. Today, her belongings being found at Prosser by a citizen just searching wasn't okay. It wasn't properly investigated from the beginning. That makes me so upset. I'm trying hard to reach out to all news agencies and justice warriors. Justice for Kylie, and thank you for your reply. Family member then says, we were all absolutely outraged. I'm sorry to say it, but law enforcement has bumbled this investigation from the start. It took YouTubers and social media to recover Kylie and her belongings. While I don't trust the PI, he's wildly unprofessional and a little bitter. But yes, he's close to the family, and yes, he did find some of her belongings. This whole case is unreal. And then the group member replies, I'm so sorry, it is really getting to me too. So I could only imagine how the family feels. I've been working so hard on this and I feel like I just hit a wall. Today he will be on Grizzly True Crime at 5 p.m. PST. I'll be watching every word he says. Group member says, the cops are hiding something. It's sad that family is believing it can be an accident also. It's not black and white. Another group member says, the FBI are the ones that took the car after they pulled it from the reservoir to do the investigation. So hopefully they'll do their job. But still, all this stuff out there. Ugh. Family member says, until today, it was radio silence from law enforcement. It's been frustrating, so it's very understandable everyone wants to accept it as an accident and let it go. After the findings today, it's clear there are a lot of people who are not going to let this go until we have answers. And a group member says, I hope the family realises there aren't thousands of people fighting for Kylie because we're bored and have nothing better to do. Not many cases get this much heart, blood, sweat and tears. Not many cases get this much heart, blood, sweat and tears from random people and strangers. Kylie does because it screams foul play. And when we don't see her family screaming at the top of their lungs, justice for Kylie, it's heartbreaking. I'm so glad you're here and hope your voice will be heard within the family. Kylie deserves a thorough and honest investigation. Thank you. Another group member said, thank you. You said it perfectly. The family member comes back and says, thank you for that. I admit, posting in the group made me nervous. Everyone is kind in this group, but I've seen other comments around. I will continue pushing for the truth no matter what. I would regret anything else. Thank you for the support. And the group members come back and say, the admins do a great job making sure respect is maintained here. Otherwise, they pause our buns so we cool down. Laugh out loud, which that's true. It got paused so many times. They also remove people not following the rules. Again, true. I'm glad you felt safe here. And then somebody else said what findings, but the family member did not reply to that. Another group member said, I'm sorry for your family's loss. This wasn't an accident. I hope that it's proven that the persons who did this are fully prosecuted. And the family member come back and said, thank you. I don't think it was an accident either. And whoever is responsible will have the entire world to answer to. Another group member says, can you share what the family thinks happened? Another group member, the same group member, says, I am making a comprehensive spreadsheet with everything I know for both outcomes, accident and foul play. I will ask others to help crowdsource. Feel free to send me a DM or I can go through the mods to share it with you. The family member replies, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I've been hoping someone would do. That's amazing and I'm so very grateful. I've thought about what some of you have said about watching this case because no one directly involved will demand justice. It keeps me going, seeing the digging, keeps me motivated to watch videos and check the groups. It will be a hard day today, but if I'll certainly post an update. Thank you, and I know together we can all uncover the truth. I know it. And then the group member comes back and says, hope the day of celebration of life went okay. Someone on the ground is looking into a potential lead and is wondering if you could share a description of what Kylie's wallet looks like. Now, I don't know anything about this wallet, so this is the first I've read about it. So if you have anything on this wallet, please comment in the comments. And then another group member says, there isn't any, and that's the problem. There are so many red flags that I cannot understand how every single member of the family isn't at the police station demanding action. It's very confusing and sad to me. I understand it's easier to justify an accident taking this beautiful girl than it is foul play, but Kylie deserves every possible effort to verify 100% what happened. And then another group member said, I noticed this happens to a lot. I also noticed it with the Chris Watts case and the family. Some people, especially during a tragedy, put their 100% trust in law enforcement. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, law enforcement a lot of the times either doesn't do their job properly or in some cases there is corruption. Look how many school shootings that law enforcement failed to do their jobs that they have been trained and prepared for. And the family member come back and said, I could not agree with you more. Today's findings proved that. A group member says, I cannot understand how a random person just went to Prosser today and found her personal items still in the reservoir. This has been such a sloppy investigation. And then people had said they hadn't heard it and, tagged in threads. Again, just inserting everything so that you get full context. The family member comes back and says, it took YouTubers and social media to bring Kylie and her belongings home. We can't even believe it. YouTubers and social media can be toxic, but I'm so grateful for their passion and persistence. Another group member says, I'm just surprised given everything that the family was saying up until they found her car that it's been so easy for them to believe it was an accident. The only thing that I can imagine is that the grief of losing her makes believing it was an accident easier than trying to dig deeper. I remember when we lost my uncle, there was opportunities to sue the state due to the accident, but my family never did due to his wife being so deeply grief-stricken. Now, almost 20 years later, she wished she had. Anyway, I do hope Kylie gets justice, and if law enforcement has some evidence or witnesses that have not been made public that prove it to be an accident, I have not yet seen it. I do believe that it was intended to look accidental, and possibly was, but there is foul play. I can't see how there couldn't be with everything so far. I wish the family all the peace, mum, dad and grandparents. I'll be dancing for Kylie. The family member comes back and says, I'm so sorry for your loss. 20 years means nothing when regret lingers every day. Thank you for sharing. I'm more worried about her brother. Honestly, if they do close the case, I'll hire my own PI. And then the group member comes back and says, we will all help you with the PI. Wrong way. A group member says, is there any previous incidences where Kylie was drunk or on drugs? She said she was designated driver and apparently a smart girl. I'm leaning towards jealousy. Someone messed her up and she probably OD'd. Family member comes back and said, she did drink now and then and everyone smokes in trucking, but she's never been blackout drunk or anything like that. It's the recklessness that's suspicious to me. I understand there's a first time for everything, but she's so open with her mum that Lindsay's picked her up from parties in the past. I also believe it was an OD. The only way she could get into her car drunk is if someone put her there. And then the group member said, that's what I thought. Another group member said, I really feel that this case is going to be swept under the rug. It pisses me off that someone is getting away with murder. I can't even begin to explain all the emotions I'm feeling for Kylie. I want to shake the shit out of her mum. Tell her to wake the F up and fight for her daughter. And the family member came back and said, me too. But our family is super small, barely any cousins, and several only children. We've never dealt with this level of tragedy and national coverage. There's barely Wi-Fi up there, so none of the family is super social media savvy. It's sort of why Lindsay is so untrusting of social media and the YouTubers. It's been hard. I'm heading up there today for the memorial and private family event. I'll try to share an update if I can. And the group member come back and said, all my thoughts and prayers are with you all. Another group member said, is it possible for you locals to have a protest out in front of the place that is handling Kylie's case, holding signs that say justice for Kylie? Maybe that will let them know that the community isn't going to accept this was an accident. That's what Alex Gabe's family and the community did to finally get the DA to listen and talk to them. I don't know, just a thought. And I agree with this person. I think that there needs to be a protest. I think that that is the only way that any real, true answers are going to come and any proper, eyes on this. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Another group member said, definitely need to put more pressure and demand solid evidence here. Demand honest answers. Demand justice for their daughter, sister and granddaughter. Not just thank this police department nicely for all their hard work and time. This passive way of dealing with them is making them comfortable with the lack of effort they are providing. Seeing all her things, pulled out of that lake when they were right there and just had to sweep the bottom and net the windows would have been my last straw. They were careless in finding her, careless in preserving her and her personal items after AWP came in and did their job. That's enough to prove to me they are being careless in this entire investigation then. And then somebody else put, 100% agree. I'm sick to my stomach over this case. Family member comes back and says, law enforcement has bumbled the case over and over, and I'm sick with how much they just don't care right now. It took massive amounts of social media attention to get law enforcement on the scene with Check It TV. That was thanks to all of you. And it was inspiring to the power of the people, force the people empowered to do something. All of you brought AWP and they brought her home. Regardless of how the family felt about that, I am eternally grateful. So there we go, guys. That's what the family member had to say. What are your thoughts and feelings on all of this? I think that, or I hope I should say, that there is a family member that's still fighting behind the scenes that we don't know about. I don't know if the family member has given up. I truly hope not. I don't know if maybe there is a way that we could find out who this family member was. I know obviously the admin of the group knew who the family member was, so maybe that admin of that group could reach out and let us know which family member, and we could contact them and show them that they've got loads of support still, in the community, and that will help them fight. We've crowdsourced for a genuine PI. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me your thoughts, guys. Love, light, and peace to all, and I'll speak to you soon.